Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts. And I'm excited to kick off Season 2 of our podcast series in partnership with Rappahannock Electric Cooperative. It's called We Are REC. Every week we'll release a new episode talking to different people from REC about a host of different topics. We'll get tips for saving money on your electric bill. We'll talk about renewable energy and the impact it can have in our communities. We'll get some behind-the-scenes info about what happens when the power goes out in a storm. Don't miss out on information about community grants, scholarships, REC-hosted events, and more. Get every single episode on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab. Or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or on Spotify. Just do a quick search for We Are REC. Hello, and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Yeah, I am Janet Michael.
Last time I looked, you were.
Right. Oh, this is so weird for me. We are sitting in the studio today. However, we are pre-recording the show. Lieutenant Warren Gosnell is across the desk from me, so we are live on tape, as it were, on a Wednesday afternoon. You, of course, are listening to this on a Thursday, and it's weird for me to be sitting in the studio because I've done so many shows over Zoom in my kitchen in the pajamas.
I thought you were still in your pajamas, but I mean, you wear it well.
Hey,
but
I put on mascara for you today, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Did you do the speed limit for me today?
I did do the speed limit because, I was in no real hurry to get here.
Because I saw several state troopers on the way over here today.
Oh, I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, saw a couple of those. Saw a couple of Front Royal PD. Brothers in Blue are out and about today.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I was in no big hurry. Now, when I leave
of course,
here,
now, those of you listening, that was yesterday.
That's
so
true.
you may be okay right now. Let's really get into this time loop thing and confuse people.
Oh yeah, it does. It gets really confusing, especially me when I'm recording multiple shows in a day for a week and a week out, and then I'm not really sure what day of the week it is. It gets way confusing. But it is Traffic Safety Thursday. As people are listening, we had a brief conversation before we turned the mics on that we are going to transition into Public Safety Thursday, given your new additional title of Public Information Officer with the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. But most of what we're going to be talking about today, some of it's traffic, some of it's not.
Correct. And I think on a regular basis, our traffic-related issues and discussions will continue. But like we were talking earlier, with the upcoming changes tomorrow, with the governor making masks now mandated in certain situations, we thought we'd touch on a couple of different topics today.
Before we get to any of that, though, I made myself a little note because I forgot to do it on the day of. I have to wish a happy belated birthday to my favorite sheriff, Lenny Milholland, because it did pop up on my Facebook that it was Lenny's birthday. And all day I kept thinking, I got to put something on Lenny's wall, and then I forgot.
It's gone.
And then it was
You lost
over.
the opportunity.
But hey, this way so many more people get to know what a handsome young man he is celebrating his birthday.
So you're going to wish him a happy belated birthday?
Happy belated birthday to
go.
my favorite sheriff, Lenny Milholland. So there you go. Now, talk to me about, okay, so here's the thing. Do you want to get into the mask enforcement or mandatory stuff first? How you tell me where you want to go.
What I want to do is I want to make sure we preface this conversation with the fact of, as a representative of the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, I am not sitting here debating or telling anyone whether or not they should or should not wear a mask. We're talking about mandates that are being set, executive orders that are being put out there by the governor. We're talking about how we might view those orders and maybe trying to pass on some advice and some safety tips. Like, here's one. A lot of people are busting on folks who decide to wear masks while they're driving. The way I understand the mask and how it works is the mask isn't as much a protection of you,
the person wearing it,
from others. It's protecting others from you. And so if there's no one else in your car, do you need the mask or not? Have other people been in your car? I don't care. My thing when it comes to the cars and the mask, the folks that are masking up and then getting in the car and go to drive and they take the mask off, folks, do not hang it from your rear view mirror. That's an obstructed view, especially some of these that are full-size face mask hanging from your mirror now, dangling back and forth, obstructing your view. It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's like having your handicap placard there. You're allowed to hang your handicap placard once you park that shows, hey, I'm allowed to be in this space. But even on the placard, it says, hey, don't have this attached while you're in motion. You're not allowed to have air fresheners and other items in Virginia hanging from the rearview mirror. So the thing I'm seeing increase is the number of vehicles I see in operation, in motion, with masks hanging from the mirrors. So this is just advice. You want to keep hanging it there because it's convenient and you can reach it easy, that's all right. But you've just been told that it's illegal and you can be pulled over for it. So other than that, if you choose to wear the mask while you're going down the road because you're just tired of putting it on and off, and you don't want to forget, and people are like, well, how could you get out of the car and forget your mask? Folks, do I need to remind you that some people get out of the car and forget they have small children in it? And that's that's a tragic situation. Yeah. If you can get busy enough that you have a child in the back in a car seat, then I can see folks forgetting the mask.
Well, people lock their keys in their car. Correct. I have on occasion gotten out and forgotten to turn the car off. So I have literally gotten out of my car and it's still running, sitting in the driveway. So, there's always that.
There is Janet. So.
And then there's me.
So that would be my thing. I can understand it's there in plain view, easy to get to, easy to take and put back on. But still, that's not where I would put it. And maybe those are the people that are deciding to wear it while they're driving down the road. Yep. And again, legally for law enforcement, I don't think we care one way or the other whether you wear it while you're operating the vehicle or not.
And I could see where people maybe aren't wearing it when they get in the car and they're driving to a particular destination, say to Target, for example, and they put it on, they walk into Target, they do their shopping, they come back out, they load everything back into their car, they get in, they take it off, and their instinct is to hang it over the mirror because they're not going to wear it while they're driving, but don't do that. This is a don't do that show.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Truly, it can obstruct your view at the wrong time. You're going to make a right-hand turn, and the motion of the vehicle moves the mask to the right. And as you look through the right, you don't see that person coming, whether you have the right of way or not. Because people could say, well, as long as I have the green light, I'm good to go. I'd rather see that person blowing the red light and be able to avoid them hitting me in the side than to say, well, I had the green light, and so I'll take a rental car, and they don't have insurance, so now I'll have to pay my $500 deductible, and now I have to go to court because I'm going to sue them, yada, yada, yada.
But I had the right of way.
There you go.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes before we have to take a break. So talk to me, because this is one of the first things. Oh, you wanted to make sure that we mentioned, because we are coming up. It is almost the end of the month. Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month it officially ends, but doesn't really end.
Correct. May has been Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. And that's to kick off the season for us here, I think, in Virginia. There are places, obviously, that folks can ride year-round based on the weather, and there are riders who ride year-round regardless of the weather. But May is that month when we want to remind people about it. Now we're getting into the summer months. It doesn't mean that awareness should dim. Also, the fact that we didn't have our Click It or Ticket campaign this May.
Oh.
The national campaign got postponed. But coming up in June, we're going to have high visibility enforcement efforts. And that's not just us at the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. That's going to be law enforcement across the nation. As a part of the NHTSA program, they're going to look to have high visibility enforcement. And this gets us back into another thing. There are pros and cons, or folks who believe pro yep, seatbelts are good. And cons, people who think, you can't make me wear a seatbelt. The simple fact is, I just remind folks that it is the law. And I believe we're getting closer to Virginia joining D.C., Maryland, West Virginia, all the states that surround us that currently have a seatbelt law in effect that says if you're not wearing it, you can be pulled over just for that.
Primary offense.
Yes. We aren't there yet, okay? But I think we're only probably a year or two away. July 1, the new laws that were all passed this past session are going to come into effect. We're going to take a look next month when you and I talk about the traffic safety laws they're going to kick in, including the hands-free bill that passed. Now, we're not going to start enforcing that July 1. They've given a delayed start date of January 1.
And they've done that in the past with other things, too.
Yeah, for educational purposes, to try to get people ready for the change and be prepared. But I can tell you, on the way here today, Janet, I'm sitting in front row at a red light, right at the stop bar, one of the first cars. The traffic coming towards us has gotten their green light, and so they're coming through, and the traffic's making the left in front of us. And then that light cycles, I assume, because our light turns green. And as I go, here comes one more car from the opposite direction, makes that left right in front of me. And as I watch him do it, and I stop, he's got this big cell phone, one of those, I think it's like that iPhone 11 or whatever.
It's like an iPad.
Yeah. Big cell phone in his left hand, his right hand on the wheel, and he's looking everywhere but at us who had the right-of-way getting ready to come through that intersection.
And clearly the light that had changed, yeah.
Yeah. And so when this law takes effect in January, that's going to be a violation. It's already a violation because he obviously wasn't using that for GPS.
Right.
Or anything like that. He was holding it, and it looked like he was in speakerphone mode because he was talking. And so once this new law takes effect, just having it in the hand in that instance. So things like that are going to be taking place. But the motorcycle awareness, we've had a couple of incidents with motorcycles already early in the season. And folks, believe me, I know it's a two-way street. And I'm talking to both sides here.
Right.
You people in the vehicles, I need you to be aware, need you to be watching for these guys. But you guys on the bikes and you gals on the bikes, I need you to act like you have a little bit of sense. You want to enjoy the open road. You've learned to do tricks, we'll call them, or ride with style, we'll say. Wasn't it Buzz Lightyear when Woody told him, "You're not flying, you're falling, but I'm falling with style." So if you want to ride with style, okay. But there's a place and time for that, and on the open road isn't it?
Yeah.
So we need both sides to do the right thing so that we have less incidents involving injury and death of motorcyclists.
Well, let's take a quick break.
Right.
We come back. I want to talk about this enforcement of mask wearing, this mandatory mask wearing policy that goes into effect tomorrow, because I have some questions about how enforcement's going to work. Can you explain that to me when we come back?
I can try.
So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Again, we have pre-recorded today's episode of Public Safety Thursday with Lieutenant Warren Gosnell from the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. We are recording this on a Wednesday afternoon. You, of course, are hearing it on a Thursday afternoon. Regardless, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Expecting to hear a commercial? That's what this is, sorta. First, I want to thank you for listening to the Valley Today podcast. You're one of thousands who listen to the show this way every month. Sometimes it's because our listeners are busy and they want to listen when it fits their schedule, or it's a guest of the show who want to hear what they sounded like when they were on the radio. We even have a few binge listeners who listen to a week's worth at a time. Can you even imagine? So if you want those people, your potential customers, to hear your message, then this could have been your ad. And the bonus, your commercial isn't restricted to just 30 or 60 seconds. You can take up to 2 minutes to talk to those customers, and there's even the opportunity to be an exclusive sponsor of the Valley Today podcast, which also gets you on-air mentions at the end of every show. If any of this sounds interesting to you, give me a call at the station, 540-635-4121, or send me an email to janet@theriver953.com. You can also find all my contact info by searching for me on theriver953.com. Welcome back to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Public Safety Thursday with Lieutenant Warren Gosnell from the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. We have pre-recorded today's show. We are live on tape. It is Wednesday afternoon as we are recording this. However, you, of course, are listening to it on a Thursday. Guys, in the first segment, we talked about don't hang your masks from the rearview mirror because that act is not a legal act and it is an obstruction and nothing should ever be hanging from your rearview mirror while you are driving.
Correct.
So with the governor's order, masks, as I understand the governor's order, masks are now mandatory.
Starting tomorrow.
In public places. Now, my first thought, I looked at my husband and said, so not Walmart or Target. And he looks at me and goes, yeah. I'm like, well, they're not public places. They're privately owned businesses.
Brick and mortar.
But he then, of course, explained the difference to me. But then he says that the health departments are going to be the enforcers of this. And the first thing that I asked you when you sat down before we started recording was, how is that going to work? Are they going to hire cops to come out and say, sir, you aren't wearing a mask, you have to go to your car? I had no idea how this was all going to actually play out.
Here's going to be the issue. We're going to get into business owners' rights, private property issues, because a business is private property. We're going to get into large retail organizations like your Walmart, Target, Home Depot, and such, and your small businesses. Miller Hardware in Stevens City is one of the ones I know of. You have a few here in Front Royal that are locally owned businesses.
Right.
And so the question is, how does the health department tell this corporation or this local business how to run their business? And the example I gave to you was, and I can't use the same one exactly because we talked about food establishments, restaurants, and such, where the health department is involved. They're the enforcement agency. The health department can walk into McDonald's and say, you're closed because the lettuce here isn't cold enough, the mayonnaise here is too warm, whatever. Yeah. Food prep and the conditions of the food, the health department says you're closed for business. They don't need law enforcement to do that. So it's in the same interest as far as public health risk. When it comes to food contaminants, that's a public health risk.
Right.
All right. Well, what they're trying to say, in my opinion, is that the wearing of masks is in the best interest of public health, and not wearing a mask is a public health risk. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Again, I want to preface.
Right.
I'm just passing on information, and some of this is what we feel that we've tried to take away from the mandates as well, because no one set us down and said, here's exactly what we're doing and why. They've just said, here's what we're doing.
Yeah, they didn't give you a checklist.
Okay. So if it's a public health risk, now the health department can come in and say, Mom and Pop Smith, your business is closed because you're increasing the risk to the public by not mandating that your customers wear a mask. Now, Mom and Pop Smith are in the position of, I'm finally able to reopen my business, or maybe they've been one of the ones fortunate enough to have been open for a while, but now I have customer base that's saying, I don't believe in this mask crap. I don't want to wear it. Well, do mom and pop say, well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave, at which point they're turning away business, turning away customers. Those customers now go to their friends and guess mom and pop wouldn't let us in. Well, we're not going to go there either. All right? On the other side of the coin, you have customers who want the mask on. And if mom and pop Smith don't make those folks put their mask on, they're going to be, well, I'm not going to be in here. Even though I'm wearing a mask, I don't feel safe because these people aren't. They're not wearing gloves. They're touching everything. I'm touching what they touch possibly. And so they tell their friends, and now you can alienate those potential customers.
And in the age of social media and every phone in every hand with a camera on it.
Those people with the mask that see people without, they're going to be taking pictures and they're going to be, calling. And remember, folks, call the health department. Don't call the sheriff's office. But that's going to be the way the health department is going to come in and say. And so now mom and pop are put in a position where they have to decide, do we want to stay open and at least have a chance at earning a living, paying our bills, or do we want to risk the health department coming in and shutting us down? And I can tell you, folks, doing what I do and the people that we encounter in law enforcement, we have tried to take as many precautions as possible. Each deputy has gloves. And I don't mean just a pair of gloves. We've been given several sets of gloves, safety goggles, and several face masks. I carry a face mask in the pockets of my BDUs now, a pair of gloves, and I have a small can of Lysol spray, travel spray. And so it's not a matter of whether you believe that the coronavirus is as deadly as they first said it was going to be. There are some stats out there that say it's about a 3% death rate.
Mm-hmm.
I told you this back in the beginning when this all went first to start, that we were going to get to a point to where the debate was going to be, was coronavirus really as deadly as they said? Or did the measures we take, the social distancing, the cleansing and all that, did that work?
Yeah, you're never really going to have an answer to that question.
You're going to have two sides.
Right.
One side's going to say, well, it was never that deadly. And the other side's going to say, nope, we just were able to hold it off. Who knows? I can tell you this, whether it's as deadly as they first said, whether it's spreading or can spread as quickly and easily as they first said, it's obvious that there are people dying from it. And so this falls in line with anything else. If it's something that can kill me, I'm going to do my best to not give it the chance to kill me. If that means I don't go to XYZ business because they don't make people wear masks, fine. If it's I decide to wear a mask to protect myself, fine. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect myself and those with me. That's the next thing, Janet. Supposedly, as we talked about earlier, the mask is more so to protect others from you.
Mm-hmm. It is probably the largest selfless act right now in these times that somebody can do, because that mask is not really protecting you. If I had one on right now, and I don't because we're far enough apart, but if I had one on right now, it's protecting you in case I have it and I have no symptoms and don't know that I have it. It's going to protect you from getting it from me. It's not protecting me from getting it from you if you're not wearing one.
And this is the thing, folks. Again, without us, beating the drum and trying to say, 100% positive one way or the other, all we're saying is if you have it on, what's it hurting? Okay? Now, if you believe you shouldn't be forced to wear it, I understand. We're in the land of the free, home of the brave. Okay? But those are the same folks in some instances. They're saying, I shouldn't be forced to wear a seatbelt.
Mm-hmm.
But we know seatbelts save lives.
Yeah.
Those are the same folks that are saying, I shouldn't be forced not to use my cell phone while I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that distracted driving costs lives.
But I had the right of way.
And so all I'm saying to you is, if something like this, while this is still present and going on, and hopefully it's on the downward slide now, but if something as simple as this can save your life or save another's life, then I don't see the major issue.
And they're pretty cool and stylish now. Can I tell you how many orange ones I have?
Well,
I have been an Etsy buying fool with some really cute little orange masks. I may keep wearing them even afterwards, because the other thing is you can't see the look on my face when you can still see me roll my eyes, but you can't see everything else when somebody that I'm in a group with says
whether
something
you're
stupid.
smiling, frowning,
I can
or
mutter
what.
under my breath, and now they really can't hear what I'm saying. But that's my concern, that the voice in my head has gotten a little louder now. And when we stop wearing masks, I'm going to be in big trouble.
You're going to make faces go, what's that look for? You'll be like, don't
wait,
have my mask
yeah.
on. I think I'm going to get a Batman mask.
I think you should have a Batman mask.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, I think you should.
And I have my mask on.
Yeah, I think you need to get one.
Of course, you know Batman's mask doesn't cover what it's supposed to. But, I think it would be cool. But on the serious note, folks.
But do not call the sheriff's office. Do not call the police department. Do not call any of the local law enforcement, because it is not your job to come and remove someone from that situation just because they're not wearing a mask. But I say that, and then as I'm saying it, if I am a store owner and I have had somebody come into my store who is not wearing a mask, they were refusing to put one on, and I am telling them they have to leave because they are not wearing a mask, and they are refusing to leave, that's when it becomes a law enforcement issue.
And here's the point I was going to make is, whether you're pro-mask or no mask, don't let it lead to confrontation.
Right.
Make your decision. I'm wearing it or I'm not. And then if you're told to leave, leave. If you're one in a mask and the business is allowing people without the mask, leave.
Yeah.
Don't go
confront.
to confrontation, neither with the business owner or the customer not wearing it. Because if you become the aggressor,
it's a whole different set of rules.
even if you started on the right side and you had all the best intentions, you become the aggressor, things are going to change for you.
And again, that goes back to things that we've talked about in previous traffic safety conversations where, if you've got some guy who's driving like a maniac and suddenly you end up next to him at the traffic light, don't get out of your car and go rolling up over there to scream and yell at what a maniac driver he was. Don't start any of that, no matter how far in the right you think you are.
Nope.
See, I listen when you talk.
Because that reminds me of the story of the guy on 522 that did that, and the next thing he was looking at was the barrel of a weapon.
Yes, I remember that story. So, okay, well, thank you. We're out of time. Even though we're pre-recorded, we're out of time today. We recorded this on Wednesday afternoon. Lieutenant Gosnell, thank you for spending some time in person with me today. You're like the first in-person person that I've seen, other than my husband, in weeks.
Well, tomorrow I'm teaching assisting a DUID class by video.
That's why we are recording this early.
With 5 other instructors and 30-plus students. And it's like, technology is great, but I'd much rather have the in-person.
I need a link to that Zoom. I want to be a spectator in
go.
that whole thing. We are going to wrap up today's episode of Public Safety Thursday. We have been chatting with Lieutenant Warren Gosnell from the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. Again, happy belated birthday to my favorite sheriff, Lenny Milholland. I will be back with a brand new episode of The Valley Today for you tomorrow, a few minutes after noon. We are going to be chatting one final time, I'm sad to say, with Mark Merrill. He is the CEO at Valley Health. He is retiring. So we're going to get a wrap-up conversation with Mr. Merrill tomorrow, a few minutes after noon. So meet me back here then.